FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
The bloggers who begin writing on particular topics, and thanks to something called behavioral targeting, companies can now identify people who are blogging about particular topics, twittering about particular topics, posting particular topics in your Facebook updates. And this information is now being organized, aggregated, and distributed for use by marketers so that they can target you more effectively with their advertising. Behavioral targeting. A lot of people in media consider behavioral targeting to be the single most important revenue growth opportunity for the future, that their ability to use information about you and your interests that they discern from your purchasing patterns online, what you buy, what you use, what you write about, what sites you go to, becomes fodder for them to be able to target messages in media more effectively to you. Now, I think Mark and I are two of the only people in the industry who think this is a very, very dangerous trend for the advertising business to look at that. Typically, I think when either of us are in conversations or panels of this type, we are the antichrists. Absolutely. To talk about behavioral targeting.
How
so
many
we're on
people
friendly
are
grounds.
familiar with the term behavioral targeting? How many people fully think they understand the implications of it? That's probably a different scenario. So, and I still don't fully understand it, but what I do understand, and I used to run a site called hack.net, so I do have some like hacker background and understanding of what can be done with data mining. But when you go anywhere, it's putting it into a file. And because they disclose it in a privacy policy, and this is even a better question in setting this up, when you go to a site and they ask you to sign an end user licensing agreement, EULAs or terms of services, those like 500 pages of really fine typed letters, how many people actually read that stuff? 2 people in a room.
Sir, could you come to my place later on
and
read all of these
Bravo
things that I've agreed
for that.
to?
God bless you. But
say that again.
You're underestimating your price points, Lenny. Yeah. Can I rep you on that, actually? But a lot of these things will be very clear in what they disclose. We are going to track you, where you go, where you surf. So if you're like at home surfing porn sites, they're putting it in a file. They're appending it to your credit card information. They're saving it up. And by the way, they reserve the right to sell it to somebody else. Now, behavioral targeting as a rule, in concept done right, opted in, I know what I'm getting into, I can understand that. So if someone is very evident and very clear to say, by clicking on this box, we're going to do all of these things for you, and you're going to be able to opt in. Right?
Double opt-in.
And very visible opt-in versus the ninth page on an end-user licensing agreement. Otherwise, there's this giant dossier being prepared for you, which, you know, I'm going outside to smoke, and you write that on Twitter, and the next thing you know, you want health insurance, and they're saying no. And we've all seen, or they're not saying no, they're saying we're charging you more for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Or you put down on your form that you're non-smoker, and we know you are a smoker.
Right. And be very clear that they're all out there tracking everything that's being said for those type of things, not unlike...
Or when you were 18 and in college and you have a picture posted on your Facebook page of you guzzling the...
through the funnel
the tankard, yeah. And that's there forever, and it comes back to haunt you on a job interview later on, which is happening already.
But youthful discussion is one thing, and I think I could get past that, showing that if you have other skill sets and you've proven yourself in the marketplace later.
Or for some jobs in advertising especially, that's a skill set.
Mad Men is about smoking and drinking and sex, so like you're in. But on the other side of it, you might not want that full disclosure, right? Or you might want control over it. So my position with behavioral targeting is fine, but I want to own my own metadata. So, Amazon's a great case in point. Like, I might want to buy a quilting book for my mother for Christmas, right? But do I want to see quilting books every day when I go on Amazon? No. I bought it as a gift for my mother. Now, Amazon's one of the few places that allows me to go in and say, I don't want to see these ads anymore. That was a one-off. I want to go there. But our friends over at the FTC recently fined Sears and Kmart for a behavioral that's even past behavioral targeting, which was, you went to their site, they said, you want to take a survey? You said yes, at the bottom of those 9 pages, they said, oh, by the way, we're going to install a program on your computer. We're going to track your banking records, your medical records, everywhere you surf, everything on your computer. Now, will they ever sell me another pair of jeans or another refrigerator by having that data? Highly unlikely, but more important, as a brand, you need to make a decision to say, am I opening up a trust relationship with my consumer this way? Is this the way I want to start a relationship with trust? And am I going to develop a lifetime consumer that way? So going back to the transparency thing, if you come with transparency and you approach things in the right manner, I think that that's a much better business practice. And while it's heretic right now, and it's not the best way to position things for bigger companies that are using it, I think it's a much more practical and smarter way to approach it, whether any kind of brand.